From behind glass frames, the faces of the 9 young souls smile at the hundreds gathered in the field that until a fortnight ago was their playground. Today, it is a venue of a memorial service in their honor. Watching the processions, the proceedings, their families, both biological and by association.
Will be over when I get home. Will be over.
The other girls who are already braving the impact of the tragedy and are back in school. Here, reflections of the chronology of events that happened, starting with plans to improve security at the school.
Securing the school. Little did we know that maybe inside the institution we might have an enemy.
Hours later, that enemy struck.
Moved with speed to answer to the cry of one officer who cried fire. Those who live within the dormitory area and a few meters from it, we all rushed, not thinking of our nakedness, and tried to get as many girls as we could. And our expectation is that every one of them had come out.
The enormity of that fire only becoming evident after the fire had been contained.
We waited for the fire people to put off the fire. I and the principal did not know that there were anybody's in the building. And after the fire was out, at around 5, going to 6, is when we met the unspeakable. It broke us.
What followed has been a fortnight of pain, denial, and reluctant resignation to the fact that the 9 girls are gone.
And I know what of the most difficult thing in life is to lose a child. We brought our children here. They came the beginning of the term to do their education, like many of the other children. But I know it's not easy.
And so they mourn and remember their colleagues.
Like the rest of us, they were eager to learn and know the school and its inhabitants. They had so much life in them, and consequently, so much to offer.
Our children's life and confidence has been shattered by the incident that changed our way of living. It is sad that young, promising lives have been cut off mid-step in the full flower of their youth.
In the midst of the eulogy, stakeholders are calling for and getting assurances that change will be made in the way safety and security of boarding school children is handled.
I want to call upon the managers of our schools to strictly adhere to all the safety standards manual for schools developed by the Ministry of Education.
These girls will have died in vain, and our pain and the emotion we feel now, if that doesn't invite us to set these standards from the paper to actual implementation in the schools.
Amongst the key changes will be the raising of the age limit of children who can be admitted to boarding school.
Relooking at the whole question of at what age do we allow our children to be in boarding schools. This may affect our primary schools because we would want to be sure that when our children are in boarding schools at primary school level, that they are of such a age that in case of challenges, they can be able to take care of themselves.
The tragedy at the Moi Girls High School once again brings into sharp focus the safety and security measures that have been put in place by the Ministry of Education, but many of which are not implemented. The ministry now pledging to ensure that all schools, especially boarding schools, take a fresh look at how they handle this issue. Brenda Wanga, NTV, Nairobi.